Applauding Life After 50 on BCTV is underwritten by White Star Travel Center.
Good morning and welcome to Applauding Life After 50. I'm Sarah Hunter-Lascoskie. I'm Associate Director of Marketing and Development with Berks Encore. So glad you can join us today. Hope you're enjoying these cool first days of spring. Today we've got a great topic, a great guest who most of you know and love, I'm assuming, Melvin Foo with PC Ninja. And today we're going to be talking about internet safety and security. Now, we talked a few months back with Melvin about getting to know your PC and the great things it can do, but getting to know it and using it more means you also have to be careful. So we're happy to talk more about the ways in which you can keep yourself, your computer, your information safe online. So Melvin, thanks for being here. I'm glad to talk to you today. So let's get started by talking about some of the common computer myths that people might have about the safety of their information, the safety of their computer. What are some things that people believe that might not be true? Yeah, definitely. There are three common myths, basically, here is from an antivirus software standpoint. They actually say, I installed the computer antivirus and therefore I'm 100% protected. That's partly true, okay, because an antivirus is only, it accounts for, I say, about 30% of the time to protect your computer. You definitely need an antivirus, but the other 60-70% of the time would be that you need to, would be how your activities are, what you download, what you surf on, the websites you actually look at. Now, it might be accidental, nor you might actually do some research, for example, and you stumble across a website that you may think there's information in there. You may get a virus that way. So the 30% has to be there with an antivirus, that definitely. The other computer myth is, I rarely go on the internet, therefore I can't possibly get a virus. The amount of times you actually surf the internet really isn't proportional to whether you can get a virus or not. You can go one time and get a virus. Someone can go 1,000 times on the internet and not get a virus. It's just a matter of where you surf on, and it's a matter of luck as well, you know. It's the luck of the draw. And the third one is, I never go on the internet, therefore I can't possibly get a virus. That's partly true, partly untrue as well, because you don't get viruses solely by going on the internet. Sometimes you actually have a flash drive or an email attachment that you get and you click on. It may seem like fairly harmless from a friend, for example, and it may contain a virus. So, you know, those are the three computer myths that someone really needs to think about. The first one's definitely very important. You can't solely rely on antivirus on there. It's actually, it's based on the person using the computer to whether you're going to get the virus or not as well. So you are really in control of, you know, kind of what you're doing on the internet. Things don't happen. It's really about you know, yes, knowing what you're doing and kind of being aware of things on Definitely. Using your computer. Yeah. Now, a big thing that we've talked about before, not necessarily with the internet and computers, but it's scams. That's one of the main things we do see. A lot of scams target seniors, but a lot of scams target internet users as well. And you know, some of these scams might be new to folks. They might not know what to look for. They might be a little different. And so can you tell people about kind of what scams they might encounter related to your computer, your internet use and safety? Yeah, there are 5 very common scams. The first one would be what you call a phishing scam. Phishing as in not F-I-S-H, is P-H-I-S-H. And that's basically a scam that they're simply giving you an email or they're phoning you to ask for your information. So they're kind of tricking you into maybe they're saying, okay, I'm Microsoft support, or I'm part of your bank, you know, I'm trying to do an upgrade in your bank, a maintenance. Or it might be a simple thing like UPS or FedEx. You know, they're asking you important information
that they're trying to get out of you, they're so real. You know, the scams, the scammers, they're born actors, basically. And they're so sincere that you actually are, you don't even think about not giving information to them because they seem so real. So the phishing scams are very important. They go on a 3-4 month cycle, so you'll see them come around every 3-4 months or so. They go away, and they come around and go, and it's all seasonal. So Christmas comes along, you might get a phone call from UPS, for example, you know, asking for information. The second one will be scare tactic scams. So like suddenly you might get a phone call from the IRS, you know, or the federal government saying, hey, you know what, your taxes are due, or you have this tax penalty. You need to give us this information. You need to pay us this amount to actually like get your debt cleared. So they scare you, or else you might be jailed, you might be taxed further, you might have some sort of penalty. You know, so it's a scare tactic. Don't fall for that. Again, seasonal scams. Christmas comes along. UPS might call up and say, you know what, we tried to leave a package by your doorstep, but you weren't home. Can you click on this link to give us more information so that we can deliver it further? You know, it's an example is that. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, be careful of that one. This is the common one, emotional scams. So all of a sudden you have maybe a phone call or an email saying, help, I'm your relative, I'm stranded, I need some money. Can you send me some money quickly because I need it. I lost my wallet, I lost my passport, you know, things like that. And obviously phone scams. Hello, I'm Microsoft support, that's the most common thing. I see you have a computer and it's infected with a virus. We can help you with that. You know, it's examples like that. So phone scams, emotional scams, seasonal scams, scare tactic scams, and phishing scams. They're basically
that's a lot.
That's a lot of scams. You know, and then they mix it about. You know, they're very smart. They've got it down literally to a science. They have planned all this. Like,
I get some probably on a weekly basis that are frequently the type that the email looks very convincing. It might even have a convincing from address where it says, we need you to validate your bank account information, or we need you to validate, you know, this or that. And it's not actually from the bank or whoever that you're dealing with, but it looks like a convincing email. So this isn't just something that you might immediately know is a scammer. And like you're talking about this emotional one, well, we just had this in our office where somebody's email address said, help, you know, I need to get out of this country, I'm traveling, and it looks convincing because it comes from that person's email address. And so, you know, sometimes you do have to just take a step back and look at what you're kind of dealing with, which is, you know, what can people do to make sure they are, you know, just staying vigilant about these scams?
Definitely take a step back. Don't use impulse, because that's the worst thing. You have to take a step back if it's from your bank, if it's from UPS, or if from some big company. Take a step back, give them a call. Just give them a call. If it's your bank, give them a call and say, do you know what, did you guys send me an email saying I need your information or anything like that? And they'll say, no, we didn't. You can then don't reply to it, or don't be impulsive enough to actually reply to it right then. So take a step back, get a breather, and verify the information. I think that's the best thing to do.
And I know that there are some places you can look up what kind of the current scams are. Can you talk about that, where you can find resources for kind of things that are kind of, like you said, they pop up every few months, they're seasonal, so I know there are some locations where you can find out.
Yeah, the federal government actually has a website that you can actually go on, and they actually give you the ongoing scams as well. So that's probably the best site to go on, like a federal government. And you can go there and see the upcoming scams up there. Now, bear in mind, scams probably happen every second, every minute of the day. So they're always playing catch up with the scams. So you might not necessarily see the latest scams out there. The best thing to do as well is maybe call the police as well. You know, the district police may actually have, they actually have a department that deals with scams. The FTC actually has that as well. So it's good to call, good to verify. Definitely take a step back. Don't be impulsive. I think the impulsiveness is what the scammers want to target. The people that is the impulsiveness there, they reply to it right then. That's where they target.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they target billions of people probably, and if they can get probably 1% of the billions of people, they've got it made.
Yes.
You see?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to scams, there's other ways you can, or other things that might happen to your computer that you need to look out for, and one of those is malware. And I don't know if everybody is familiar with that term, but can you talk about what malware is and some examples of how it could end up on your computer and what it could do to your computer?
Yeah. Malware is a general term. It comprises of anything that compromises your computer. So malware is negative. Anything from viruses to virus scams to things that make your computer have pop-ups, for example, that's malware. Things that slow your computer down, and information that sometimes malware grabs information that you really don't want people to know. So your financial information, your likes and your dislikes, you know, things like that. So malware is negative. So that's a term. When I say, do you have malware? It may actually generally be, do you have viruses or do you have bad things on your computer?
So it's a big catch-all term.
It's a big catch-all term, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually short for malicious software. That's basically what it is.
Now, how does that end up on your computer? What can you not do to make sure you keep malware off your computer?
That's a good question, because that's the way antivirus, I go back to the antivirus versus your activities on your computer. Now, if you actually use the internet a lot, you may want to be careful what you click on. Okay, so, and if pop-ups come up, for example, Windows pop-ups, be careful what it actually says. If something's too good to be true, you know, that's the saying. It probably is. Watch out for the scams, like if you click on this, if you register, I'll give you a $50 discount, or you just want a free cruise.
Right, you're the 1,000th visitor to this website.
Yeah, you're the 1,000th visitor. Click on here, and we'll send you $1,000.
Right.
You know, you just want a prize. Be careful of that one. The guys that just have got onto the internet, or they're really new to the internet, they don't realize that those are scams. And what they start doing is they start putting their own information in there, and then they get spam emails. They get a lot of emails. They get a lot of fraudulent transactions on their credit cards, and that's how it starts. See, and then email attachments as well. So like email attachments may come from a friend, but really it's not from a friend. It's pretending to be your friend, you know, and you actually it actually says, hey, I saw this nice document here that's really interesting. Click on this and it's really funny. You know, you might actually like click on that, and suddenly you've got a virus on your computer of some sort.
So it can be quite easy.
Very, very easy.
Right. And I know that sometimes you have to watch, people use Google a lot, obviously, to search for things on the internet, but you have to be careful what you're even clicking from Google. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of when you get your search results, knowing what to click and not to click?
Well, Google, it's good that you mentioned Google. Google is a very good search engine to go research out. So you can type a term and you can actually look at all the results. There are different search engines out there. So this Google's one, Yahoo's another one, Bing, and several others. Google's very good in terms of how it actually catches scammed websites, websites filled with viruses. However, they are only as good as a minute before, because bad websites come up probably every minute, every 5 minutes, and they're playing catch up. So when you go Google something, you got to be careful, or when you go on Yahoo or Bing, you got to be careful what you click on as well. There are thousands of sites when you actually research something, so you can put a search term, taco soup for example, and you come up with billions of websites. Be careful what you click on. And some of the new antiviruses actually catch websites as well, so that's good. Most of the new antiviruses will do that, but again, it's you got to do due diligence to not quick click on something.
Right. So once again, just like with scams and even malware with attachments, just taking that step back can probably prevent a lot of issues some folks might have on computers and the internet, especially new users. Just saying, like, making sure you know what you're clicking, you know what you're opening.
I think the most times the people that get viruses more than the others are the people that tend to do research more. So they don't know what they're looking for. I mean, they want to look for a particular topic, and they research it on the internet, and they almost are forced to go to different websites to get the information, right? And I would say just be careful you do that. You go on a website, if it's too many pop-ups or too many offers on there, you might want to just go out of their website. If they're trying to sell you something on the website, then you know it's probably a little fishy here and there. So just due diligence on how you actually surf the internet.
And can you talk about staying safe with the S, the HTTP?
Oh, okay. Yep. If you look at a website, it actually always starts with an HTTP. So, for example, PC Ninja .us, that's our website. If you look at the full address, it would say http://PCNinja.us. If you go to a bank website that you really need to put financial information or critical information on there, you have to make sure that it's actually an HTTPS in there. The S is important because S means secure.
Right.
Yeah. If you go on any information, any website that you need secured information in there, or you're going to put your crucial information in there, if it doesn't have an S in there, I would actually not even go any further.
Oh, great. Well, that's good information to know, because I think you don't always look at that web address necessarily when you're navigating to that. You might not notice that. So that's something, again, you can take a small step that could help you kind of prevent a bigger issue. Yes,
definitely. Now, bear in mind, if you don't have an S in there and you're putting information in there, then there's a very, very high chance that that information can actually go into the wrong hands.
And that's really important to think about too, is just not just what's going on your computer, but what your computer is sending out. So if you're entering information on a form, if you're shopping, that means your credit card information, you're entering it in there. So making sure that website is safe can mean a lot for your security.
Definitely. If you actually go on a bank information, or if you're going on a site that you need to put crucial information in there, if it actually does not have an S, maybe give them a call. Maybe there's something wrong with the website. And most banks, actually all banks, are mandated to have a secure HTTPS in there. If they don't have them, then you might give them a call and actually ask them.
Right. Now, if you haven't followed all the instructions, or something has happened and you do get something on your computer, how would you know, and what would you do?
You will start getting, first of all, you'll start getting pop-ups. Pop-ups with different things randomly, and you'll start getting more and more pop-ups every time. You'll start seeing your computer getting very slow and sluggish. drastic situation would be that maybe your computer starts to freeze up. You have to reboot your computer, you got to restart your computer. And the most drastic situation is you can't do anything. It just locks up, or you try to go on the internet and it doesn't even go anywhere. And it's really, really slow. And that's when you actually might have to say, I might have got a virus, or there's something else wrong with the computer. But most times it is something. If you start seeing a lot of pop-ups, then you've got some sort of malware on there.
Right.
As well.
Right.
Definitely.
And obviously, if there's something wrong, they can call PC Ninja for help. And we do have your contact information that we can show here. If you want to put that up on screen.
Yeah, definitely. We can help you definitely with removing malware. But the more, I actually have an internet security class. So everything I talk about today is kind of a condensed version of what I talk about. And it's actually a pretty fun class. It's my most enjoyable class for me to teach, because I kind of relate the knowledge I have and the experiences, and the people's faces when I tell them the obvious things that they don't think about is priceless. And I love to impart that knowledge on there, because I think you have to tell them some of the easy things that are so easily done from a scam level that nobody will ever think about.
Yeah,
as well.
And there's a lot to remember, especially if you're a new user. There's just a lot to keep in your brain while you're navigating the website. So having a resource like those classes, being able to call, and if you kind of do have something on your computer, it's not the end of the world. You can kind of get things back and get some help getting it fixed.
Yeah, the two things I always mention to a new user is that, first thing, if something happens and it's too good to be true, definitely is. And second thing is, if you actually have problems on your computer, shut your computer down and get a professional resource or a friend that actually knows a lot more about what's going on, rather than leave it on. Because the more you leave it on, the more something works in the background to get it worse.
Right. Well, this has been a great introduction to the topic. Thank you for being here. We hope you've gotten some good information from this session, and remember that PC Ninja does offer these classes, does offer assistance, and it's good to have those resources. Very quickly, before we close, I do have a couple quick announcements. The first is Berks Encore exercise classes at any of our 6 centers are free until the end of June. So we'd love for you to take advantage of one of our many exercise classes at our 6 locations. Give us a call if you have questions, and schedules are always in any issue of Berks Encore News. The second, quickly, is Senior Day at the Reading Fightin' Phils is coming up Monday, June 6th. That's the annual morning game. Tickets are available at any of our centers. They are free. Come pick them up and come to the baseball game with us. It's always a good day. Give us a call if you have questions, 610-374-3195. And finally, a way ahead announcement. Yes, Senior Expo, Tuesday, October 25th. Why am I telling you about this now? Well, it is because we are changing to a new location, the Doubletree Hotel in Reading. It'll be great. We'd love for you to join us once again. We'll still have shuttles from the VF outlet. It'll be a nice excuse to come to Reading and kind of check out this great hotel. So please circle that on your calendar, and we'll be giving a lot more information in Berks Encore News about some surprises, some events that Senior Expo will have this year. That's all I have for today. Thanks again to Melvin and PC Ninja for always coming and giving us great information. I hope you have a wonderful springtime. Thank you to White Star Tours for underwriting the program, and we will see you next month.
Applauding Life After 50 on BCTV is underwritten by White Star Travel Center.